Hello and welcome, I'm Raziel, and how is everyone today? I hope you're doing very well. It's nice and sunny here today, enjoying the sunshine, and so I hope you're doing well. If not, stay the course. The path might be long, but it'll be worth it in the end. It will get better. So today's conversation, and as always, it's a conversation because I do like your input down below, and I know who my regular viewers are, and I'm so grateful I have them. I love you guys. I really do. I think it's fantastic. You keep me humble by disagreeing with me when you don't agree with me. I think it's a good thing. I always do. And so here's the thing. There's shall we call it a conspiracy theory? I think that's the best term I can use. About Games Workshop leaving the wargaming scene. I'll be honest with you, this is a conspiracy I actually kind of subscribe to because it makes a lot of sense. Now, Carl Hill, I know he's a physics channel. I like him a lot. I think he's very funny. He's very interesting. And he says, with every conspiracy, there has to be a theory. Like, you can't just have a conspiracy without theory. It's got to make sense. And I agree with this. And Northern Exile did a good video on this. I think it's worth watching. He's always worth watching anyway. He's a good dude. And basically, he actually brings out the theory. And I have my own theory, but I don't really want to show Games Workshop products anymore. It's just something I don't want to do. I want to show off products from Mantic and Conquest. This is why I'm always showing those models off. I'm always showing their artwork off because I want you guys to see that. Okay? So, whereas I have receipts, I'm not going to show them because I want to show other companies off. Okay? That's going to be the point. But you can go and check yourself. The last Warhammer day we had was zero. I think it was pretty much zero models or timelines to their games. There might have been something, but it was probably just a footnote. That wasn't the main part of this. It was plushies, it was toys, it was video games, it was events happening in video games coming up, like Vermintide and Darktide, having the Tide now its own sub-genre of games that Focus Entertainment makes. With Darktide and Vermintide, we've got Mechanicum 2 coming out and stuff like that. Now, I'm not against people buying video games at all. Like, I play a lot of video games. I'm always playing Borderlands at the moment. Just completely addicted to it. I've put 3 days worth of them, so that's 72 hours in Borderlands 2 at minimum. That's just one character, and that's 0, by the way. And so, what we are seeing with the preview day, it was less a customer experience. It was less for the person who goes into the shops and buys it or goes online and buys it. It looked like it was more for the investor. It was more for people who want to buy stocks and shares into the Games Workshop company. That's what it looked like to me. And the reason being for this, and now I know it sounds silly, but it does make a lot of sense, is that when it comes to these sort of days, these preview days, now we can compare it to Fallout Day as well, because I think this is exactly what we are seeing. With Bethesda, they showed off, Fallout 4 coming for a Switch 2, which I will be getting. I freaking love Fallout. 2, 3, 1, New Vegas. Come on, Bethesda, put them on the Switch 2, alright? Switch 2 too. Switch 2 as well, alright? I want Fallout 3 on my Switch. It's such a great game. I want New Vegas without, the bugs. The endless bugs. But as you see, the actual day was about selling their products to the customer. I know a lot of people were looking for New Vegas, and we're getting that new special edition of New Vegas for the PC. I think that's a litmus test to see how many people buy it. If it sells out quickly, we might see it come out on the modern day consoles. Probably will, actually, because they tend to do this. PC are the bigger players of Fallout, so they got this new special edition. Like I said, Fallout 4 coming out for Switch 2, and, we had the Amazon Prime stuff as well. So all of this was for the Fallout fans, and it was aimed more at the gamers because that's what Fallout is. It's a video game. The TV series is its own thing. But now if we go back to Games Workshop, with theirs, what we saw, like I said, we saw plushies, we saw toys, we saw video games. This was more of a demonstration to show how versatile their brand is. And it's showing off to investors that, look, we're not a one-trick pony. Look what our brand can produce. And we can make toys which people buy from Joy Toy and McFarlane. They didn't actually show any McFarlane ones. And by the way, McFarlane toys just are the GOAT. If you get the choice of Joy Toy and McFarlane, go McFarlane every time. By the way, okay, maybe biased because Spawn fan, but let's just roll with that. And so we got Tomy producing the plushies. We have Focus Entertainment being pretty much the sole provider of games for Warhammer. We've also got the new Dawn of War coming out as well. So all of this was to show the versatility of their IP and how it can be branch all ages, all demographics, and all different types of people. We've got gamers, we've got toy collectors, we've got teddies for kids. If you look at the teddies, they aren't, they are very cute and cuddly teddies. They are very cute. Look at the Gloom Spike Git they produced. My little girl, she loves it. Okay, and so she's got one. And she wants the Griffhound as well, because they're cute, they're cuddly. This is aimed for children. This is aimed for the younger demographic. Then you got the toys like Joy Toy and McFarlane. These are for collectors and people who like to put them on the shelf and have them look good. And that's what they're there for. They're ornaments. They're there to look good. And these are for the older generation. These are for the older people. People who don't play the game but like the look of it. And then you've got video games. These are for the gamers. Again, this is something aimed for people. And not only that, you don't just have the one genre of game as well. You got the first-person shooter or third-person shooter, Space Marine, and Darktide and Vermintide. And you have the RPG, the RTS. You have so many different genres of games. It's showing a versatility of their brand product and how it can make people money because it branches out into so many different things. With that, on the other hand, it also means Games Workshop's revenue, their outgoings will decrease. It will decrease because if they're slowing down the manufacturing of their wargaming side, and they are focusing on leasing out their licenses to like Tomy, like I said, or Joy Toy, they don't actually have to do much work. They just have to get their lawyers in and have the paper signed, and that's it. They can give carte blanche to whatever company and what they make. And like I said, this is what makes me think that they are leaving the wargaming scene, because leasing out an IP is infinitely more profitable than making your product and selling it as well. Like, they don't have to produce the cotton, they don't have to produce the plastic. None of this will become an expense to them for these things. For plastic for Joy Toy, they don't have to make, they're not buying the plastic to make it out of. They're not making the molds. They're not doing any of that. So if they make like loads of them Italian ones and then they sell them, Joy Toy sells them, the Games Workshop get the money for it, the profits from their side or their cut. All they've done is literally signed a bit of paper to make that money. That's it. That's all they've done. Same with Tomy, same with everyone else. They've not actually done anything else. And we can also see this with their games. Now, I'm not saying they're deliberately making bad games. I want to make sure you know that. I'm not saying they're making bad games deliberately. They're not good. There are better games out there, but they're not doing it on purpose. It's not a deliberate case for them. What they're doing is hiring cheap people, cheap writers, which is why you never see them credited anymore, to make these games, and these are usually the first games they make, and that's it. All the good people, the people who are worth the money to make a game, Alessia Calvator, Gav Thorpe, James Lulit, they're all going elsewhere. They're getting their money's worth by going elsewhere and making good games, such as Armored Clash, such as Conflict 47, and what's the other one? Kings of War. Why did I forget Kings of War? I've been playing the hell out of that one. Because I'm stupid. That's why. So, see, that's the thing. When it comes to the games, they aren't paying for the quality anymore. They're just paying basically the lowest bidder. They're paying out for the lowest bidder, But when it comes to their IP, they're looking for the big name brands to tie with it. They're looking for the big companies who have big names in that industry. You know, like Joy Toy. Joy Toy don't make toys for kids. They make toys for adults. They make toys that look good, and that's who they want. Or McFarlane. Again, McFarlane does completely are the GOAT. Tomy for the plush toys. Focus Entertainment for their video games. And is it THQ Relic doing it? THQ or Relic doing Dawn of War 4? Right, anyway, but you know, it's going to be a big brand name doing it. And I'll have a big brand publisher and provider and distributor all attached to these, because why not? They can have all these, and this is just money coming in for very, very little work. And the more they see money coming from this, the less they're going to focus on wargaming, because the revenue on one side is the profits on one side are going to be a higher percentage on the profits on the other. And I know people can say, well, they made a record profits. Yes, because of this reason. Less money's going out to make more profit. Their brand is selling it. They don't really have to do any work at all outside of signing a bit of paper. The major cost for this is probably the solicitors that do the paperwork. That's probably the major cost of this. And everything else is just, you know, money for nothing. And now I want to finish that Status Quo song. And that's it. So Games Workshop could be leaving the wargaming scene, and I don't think this is an entirely bad thing either. In my opinion, I'm just going to finish it up with my opinion. In my opinion, if Games Workshop quit doing wargaming, I think wargaming would blossom far more than it is. It would grow substantially. Reason being, a lot of the people who play Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, etc., will try to find something that is similar, such as Firefight, such as Wild West Exodus, Kings of War, Conflict, or 47, Conquest. All of them will find something, they'll go out, find something different, and enjoy that game. They'll get their modelling, their figures, and their games. They'll get all sorts, and it'll grow the industry by losing a major player. It sounds oxymoronic. It sounds contradictory as well, whatever word you wish to use. But it does. It could actually inevitably help the other war games in the market. I think the only thing they would actually end up really keeping alive is Black Library for the novels, just to keep the IP going. You know, have these books being sold, and that's it. The wargaming side itself, I can see being slowly killed off. We'll see. We're going to probably end up in the next couple of years seeing more models sold out permanently, and more models just disappearing. You know, in the night. We're going to start seeing that happening very slowly. And then it will end up just being the combat patrols and the big boxes, and then the combat patrols will go, and then the big boxes will go, and then that'll be it. That'll be it, gone. That's the way I'll see it going. And you can call me a conspiracy theorist for all this, and fair enough, do it. Honestly, I like it if you disagree, because I like to hear of opposition to my point. I think it's a good way of having discussion. And that's it. So, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think Games Workshop are going to be losing their Warhammer games? Do you think they're going to go down the IP path? Do you think they are going down there? I think they are. I really do. And I think it's going to be I think Northern Exile's timeline is a bit long. I think it's going to happen a lot shorter than that. I think we're probably 11th, maybe the last major release of a game. Other games may be a smaller release or something like that. Afterwards, I don't think we're going to get the big fanfare after 11th. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Fair enough. If I'm right, I'm right. Fair enough. Yeah, it doesn't bother me either way. I'm not going to go, yay, I was right. Yay, I'm so great. Or, yay, oh, no, I was wrong. I'm crying. Yeah, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. Anyway, have a good day. I hope you all have a lovely day. I hope you have a good time. I'll see you on the next video, and it's kind of going to be an addition to yesterday's video, because there's a point I needed to make on that, and it didn't quite fit the video, but it will fit the video tomorrow. But it kind of adds on to this one. I just wanted to talk about Warhammer Day. So there, and as always, there's Wayland Games down below. As I do use them, I buy a lot of product from them. I will be buying more from them. I'm going to be finishing my watches off soon on my Union. Got to get a couple of boxes for those. I know which ones I need. And you get up to £20 off, up to £20 20% off, free delivery after £20, and an extra 1% with their point system, which I love. I think it's great. Keep it up, guys. I love your company. I love your customer service. They have some of the best people I've ever spoken to when I've had an issue. There's Forbidden Planet for your comics, your TV toys, your plushies, all of that cool stuff. T-shirts. I actually get a lot of T-shirts from there. Yeah, I'm a jeans T-shirt kind of guy. Shocking, I know, right? There is also my merchandise. If you personally want to support me, go there. I'd rather you go there than Patreon. Always would do, because you're getting something for your money, and you're not just paying me to ramble on about nonsense half the time. This guy, folks, I do not get paid by him. He's a good friend of mine. I want his business to improve. I want him to do well. So links down below as well. And finally, Patreon, which I have no idea what I'm going to be doing about. And I'll see you all in the next video. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you again soon.